Denny Dachshund wanted to be the Groovy. His friend said, you will never do. Your legs are too short and you're too long. But little Denny always knew he showed them they were wrong. Everyone thought that he was a fool until one day there was a fire at school. And Denny Dachshund proved that he was the greatest fire dog in history.
Denny Dachshund wanted to be a fire dog. When they heard about it, all the dogs in Big City laughed.
Imagine, Denny Dachshund wants to be a fire dog. He can't even catch his own tail.
That long, squatty-legged sausage has trouble enough just climbing the stairs to his house. Imagine him on the fire ladder.
Go ahead, laugh. But you'll see, someday I'll be the best fire dog in all the world.
Little Denny was sure he could get to join the Big City Fire Department. But when Fire Chief Jones saw him, even he laughed.
So you want to be a fire dog? Well, I'm afraid we don't have any room right now for a dog like you. But I'll tell you what. If you can catch your tail, maybe I can find a job for you.
Poor Denny. He always dreamed of someday riding on the big red fire engine with all the big city firemen. But now it seemed all his dreams were in vain.
No one believes me. All they do is laugh at me. Well, I'll show them. I'll run away, that's what I'll do. And someday they'll need me, but I won't be around, and then they'll be sorry.
Little Denny packed all his belongings. The battered red fireman's hat he had found in the city dump, his worn-out fire dog's manual, and an old chewed-up bone, and sadly walked down the road leading out of Big City. Just as he reached the outskirts of Big City, he heard the big bell in the city hall ring out, "Fire! Fire!"
Oh! For them to ring that bell so loudly. Oh, well, they don't need me. Besides, why should I help? All they'll do is laugh.
But Denny knew he just couldn't run away. He was born to be a fire dog, and ridicule or not, he had to try and help if he could. So he ran back to Big City as fast as his little legs would carry him. When he arrived at City Hall, he heard Chief Jones shouting,
It's the school! Hurry, men! There's a fire at the school and all the children are trapped in the gymnasium!
Little Denny jumped onto the fire truck just in time. When they reached the school, the mayor and all the city council were waiting for them. The mayor called Chief Jones aside.
Fire is reaching on all floors. There's no way of breaking through. What can we do? What can we do?
Don't worry, Mr. Mayor. I can save the children.
You can, Denny? But how? Yes, how?
It's easy. I'll crawl through that drain pipe that leads to the gymnasium showers. Then you can pass me the fire hose, and the children and I will put out the fire at the door.
But that pipe is only 6 inches round. You can't possibly do anything.
Yes, I can. Just watch me.
Sure enough, Denny squirmed and wiggled, and because he was so long and lean, he reached the shower room just in time to save all the children. That very night, they had a special banquet in honor of him. The mayor himself presented little Denny with the Big City Badge of Valor. And Fire Chief Jones said,
I'm very proud to appoint you Chief Fire Dog for all Big City. And I only hope you'll forgive me and all of us for laughing at you.
There's nothing to forgive, Chief, and besides, I don't blame them for laughing. After all, I never did catch my tail.
Denny Dachshund turned out to be the greatest fire dog in history. And that should prove it's true, that you can do almost anything if you really believe in you. This is the story of Puss
Once upon a time, there was a miller who had 3 sons. He lived a long, happy life, and when he died, he left his windmill to his eldest son, his donkey to his second son, and to his youngest son, the old mill cat.
Meow.
A cat? What can I do with a cat?
Meow.
Can I win fame and fortune with a cat?
You sure can.
Who said that?
I did.
You did? But a cat can't talk.
Said who? I'm Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots. The most remarkable cat. I can walk like a man, talk to a king, outsmart a giant, do anything for my master, and do it faster than you can.
Who can?
I can. Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots? Cats don't wear boots.
This cat will, and you're gonna get him for me, so my feet won't hurt.
I am?
You am, and you're gonna get me a bag to take along while we seek fame and fortune.
The miller's son laughed and laughed, but he liked Puss and bought him a pair of small, handsome red boots and a bag. And together they set off through the forest to seek fame and fortune.
I'm Puss in Boots, Puss in Boots, the most remarkable cat.
And after a few days, their food ran out, and the miller's son said,
Without food, we can't go on. What'll we do?
Don't worry about a thing, just wait here.
and Puss scampered into the woods and soon came back with his bag full of rabbits.
Puss, you're wonderful. Now we can have supper and a good night's rest.
The next day they journeyed until they came to the river. Near the river they saw a mighty castle.
That's the king's castle. No one's allowed here. Let's go home.
No, wait. I've got an idea. I'll be right back.
He marched, bold as you please, straight into the castle and right up to the king's throne.
Well, what do we have here?
Your Majesty, I bring you greetings and this gift from my master, the mighty Count of Carabas.
And he pulled a fine rabbit out of his bag and presented it to the king, who said,
Your master is most kind. Give him our greetings.
every day for the next week, Puss presented rabbits to the king until the king was quite convinced that the Count of Carabas was indeed a great man. Then one day the king said to his beautiful daughter,
Let's ride down by the river and meet this fine nobleman.
When Puss heard this, he ran to his master and said,
Quick, take off those old clothes and jump in the river. Leave the rest to me.
No sooner had the miller's son jumped in than the royal carriage came by. Puss ran up to it shouting,
Help! Help! Thieves have robbed my master and they threw him into the river.
The king ordered his guards to rescue the miller's son and gave him elegant new clothes. And then he said,
And now we shall be glad to take you to your castle.
of course he had no castle, but Puss ran down the road well ahead of the carriage shouting,
Make way, and all hail the mighty Count of Carabas.
The farmers in the fields were so astounded and amused at the sight of Puss in Boots, they dropped their tools, and as the carriage passed, they shouted,
3 cheers for the Count of Carabas!
The king whispered to his daughter,
He must be very rich. He'd make a fine husband for you.
Oh, yes. He's wonderful. He's marvelous. My dream and my ideal. So handsome, too. Too good to be true. Can anything so wonderful be real?
Meanwhile, Puss raced ahead until he came to a castle of a giant ogre and knocked on the door.
Who's there? Who? Where? I'll be, and what do you want, cat?
I have heard that you can change yourself into all kinds of animals.
That's true, it's true.
Can you do it now?
Of course I can.
And the ogre turned himself into a roaring lion. Then Puss said,
That's wonderful. But I'll bet you can't turn yourself into something tiny, like, for instance, a little mouse.
A mouse? That's easy. Watch.
and in an instant, there stood a tiny little mouse. Quick as a flash, Puss pounced on the mouse and gobbled it up.
And that's
then the king's carriage arrived, and Puss ran to the gate and shouted,
Welcome to the castle of the Count of Carabas!
This was too much for the miller's son, and he said,
Enough of these lies. We must tell the king the whole truth.
But master, it is the truth. Your grandfather was the real Count of Carabas until the ogre drove him away and stole his castle. This is your castle and your land.
And soon after, the miller's son married the king's daughter and lived happily ever after.
Thanks to wonderful Puss in Boots.
There once was a soft, brown, furry little puppy with long brown ears and eyes the color of amber beads. He loved to chew everything he found. The little boy's bedroom slippers, the mother's stockings, the father's hat, which was often on the kitchen chair.
That dog is mostly goat,
Said the father.
We should get rid of him.
But the little boy loved the furry little puppy with long brown ears. Wait till he grows up, he said. He will stop chewing everything. When the little puppy had to go out, he pointed his nose at the keyhole in the front door, turned his head, and made a long, thin whine in his throat.
That dog is mostly mouse,
Said the mother.
We should get rid of him.
But the little boy loved the funny, furry brown puppy with amber-colored eyes. Wait till he grows up, he said. He will stop squeaking like a mouse. The little puppy loved to dig up a whole shower of earth hunting for bones.
That dog is mostly mole,
Said the gardener.
You should get rid of him.
But the little boy loved the busy little soft-furred puppy. Wait till he grows up, he answered quickly. He will stop digging for bones. So they waited. Pad, pad, pad came a little brown dog into the garden. The little boy threw a ball. Would a goat fetch a ball back to the little boy's feet? No goat. Pad, pad, pad went the little brown puppy into the neighbor's yard. Would a mouse chase a little black cat up a tree and growl? No mouse. Pad, pad, pad came a little brown puppy softly up the stairs in the night. Would a mole go into the little boy's room when he was asleep? Would he sniff him with a cold, wet nose and lick him with a warm, wet tongue? Not a mole. Pad, pad, pad went the puppy everywhere the little boy went. Pad, 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 the little puppy was growing. He barked so loudly they heard him blocks away. See, said the little boy, he's no mouse. Pad, pad, pad came the puppy into the mother's kitchen, and a whole red bowl of dog food was gone. But the father's hat lay untouched on the chair. See, said the little boy, he's no goat. Pad, pad, pad came the furry brown dog into the garden. He lay down in sections. First his front, then his back, then his tail, and finally his head. He watched quietly while the gardener filled the holes. See, said the little boy, he knows he's not a mole. He's growing up. And sure enough, the little brown furry puppy with long drooping ears and eyes the color of amber was a wonderful big furry dog, almost as tall as the little boy himself.
I'm glad we didn't get rid of him.
Said the mother to the father and the gardener. The big dog and the little boy heard her. Pad, pad, pad went the great brown dog over to the little boy. He put out his huge pink tongue and licked the little boy's smile.
On Monday, my doggie went for a walk, but she didn't come home that night. My daddy said, "Don't worry, she'll get home all right." But Tuesday came and Tuesday went, and still she wasn't home. I cried because my dog was far away and all alone. Wednesday was no different, for I looked everywhere. No matter where I looked for her, my doggie wasn't there. On Thursday, all the children helped, and they looked all around. And still my little doggie was nowhere to be found. On Friday, we stopped looking. I felt so bad then, and I didn't think I'd ever see my little dog again. On Saturday, a policeman called. He had some news for me. He found a dog that looked like mine, and would I come and see? And sure enough, on Sunday, my dog barked happily. She was found with 7 pups, her brand new family. Your Sunday, your Monday, your Tuesday, your Wednesday, your Thursday, your Friday, your Saturday. Now speak. And now I have a little doggie for each day of the week.
The Gingham dog
And the Calico cat were always the best of friends until one night.
But we can't tell you that, 'cause that's how the story ends.
And that's no way to begin the story of the Gingham dog and the Calico cat.
Once upon a time, there was a Gingham dog and a Calico cat.
What's Gingham?
Oh, it's kind of cotton cloth that comes in pretty colors and checks and stripes.
Oh,
Well, the Gingham dog and the Calico cat,
what's Calico?
it's cotton cloth too, but with different colors and patterns.
Then it was just a toy dog and a toy cat.
That's what everyone thought. Now, they lived in a very nice house with Grandma and Grandpa Whipple. In the daytime, they would sleep on the table in the corner of the downstairs living room. But at night, when Grandma and Grandpa Whipple went upstairs to sleep, they would wake up and have a wonderful time with their friends, the old Dutch clock and the Chinese plate. We're the old Dutch clock and the Chinese plate. I say tick-tock and I wish to state, honorable friends, my humble self, like nothing more than to sit on shelf near me, quite right, and have nice chat with the Gingham dog, whoop, whoop, and Calico cat. And every night they did have a wonderful time, laughing, singing, and playing, and they never had a single quarrel. Then one night the Calico cat said to her good friend, the Gingham dog,
This is fun, all right, but it's always the same games, the same songs, the same friends.
Oh, I'm not good enough for you anymore.
Oh, I don't mean that. It's just that I get tired of doing the same things over and over again. I wonder what other dogs and cats do for excitement.
They fight.
Fight?
Yeah, they fight. Every time they meet. That's what I heard.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, that's right, they fight, tick-tock.
very bad, very sad, but very true.
But why do they fight?
Oh, no reason. Just that they're cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs,
They fight each other like cats and dogs. They fight in the morning, they fight at night.
They fight in the sun or they fight in moonlight.
They don't give a hoot about wrong or right.
And seem to take a special delight in a fight on the street or on the back fence.
And the only thing that makes less sense It's people fighting people.
Well, this was a brand new idea to the Calico Cat. And you know, there's nothing more curious than a cat. And she said,
Maybe it's fun to fight, and maybe that's what I've been missing. Why don't we have a fight? Just a teeny-weeny little fight, just to see what it's like.
this shocked the others. And the old Dutch clock started tick-tocking faster than usual, and the Chinese plate wiggled and waggled nervously on his shelf.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, that's terrible. Dangerous, terrible, dangerous. Tick-tock, tick-tock.
Very bad, most unwise. Old Chinese philosophers say, curiosity kills cat. Very bad, most unwise. And the Gingham dog said,
Oh, I don't wanna. I'm kind of tired and sleepy. And besides, it's getting late. It's way after midnight.
Oh, it's only 12:30. Come on, don't be a scaredy cat.
How could a dog be a scaredy cat?
Very funny, but you know what I mean. Come on, let's fight.
and she lifted a paw and playfully swiped it across his nose.
Ouch! Hey, that hurts. You got claws in that thing.
Oh, this is fun. Let's do it some more. Come on, put up your dukes.
And she swiped him across the nose again, only harder this time.
Ouch!
Cut that out! And with teeth bared, he snapped at the Calico Cat and bit off a small piece of calico.
Oh, you? I'll show you.
And she sprang at him, and her claws ripped off a piece of gingham. And soon bits of gingham and pieces of calico filled the air. Oh, now that isn't fire for sure. Very bad, very bad.
Tickety-tock, tockety-tick, tickety-tickety. Oh, I'm so nervous. My tick is talking all out of time. What do we do? What do we do? Stop! Stop!
Suddenly it was over, and all was quiet. And that morning when Grandma and Grandpa Whipple came downstairs, Grandma said,
What happened to our Gingham dog and Calico cat?
They're gone.
Grandpa, call the police. We've been robbed.
Sure enough, where the two had sat, they found no trace of dog or cat. And some folks think right up to this day that burglars stole that pair away.
Not so, not so. Tick-tock, tick-tock, that's right, not so. But if you really want to know, ask us. We're the old Dutch clock
And the Chinese plate,
and under oath we wish to state the truth about that cat and pup is this. They ate each other up.
And that was the end of those very good friends. The Gingham dog, whoop, whoop, and the Calico cat.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little kittens. Do you know what happened to them?
They lost their mittens.
That's right. 3 little kittens, they lost their mittens and they began to cry.
Oh, mother dear, we sadly fear our mittens we have lost.
What, lost your mittens, you naughty kittens? Then you shall have no pie.
3 little kittens, they found their mittens and they began to cry.
Oh, mother dear, see here, our mittens we have found.
What, found your mittens, you darling kittens? Then you shall have some pie.
3 little kittens, they lost their mittens and they began to cry.
Oh, mother dear, we sadly fear our mittens we have lost.
What, lost your mittens, you naughty kittens? Then you shall have no pie.
3 little kittens, they found their mittens and they began to cry.
Oh, mother dear, see here, our mittens we have found.
What, found your mittens, you darling kittens? Then you shall have some pie.
I wonder if it was one of those little kittens who visited the Queen, remember? Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been?
I've been to London to visit the Queen.
Pussycat, pussycat, what did you there?
I frightened the little mouse under her chair.
Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been?
I've been to London to visit the Queen.
Pussycat, pussycat, what did you there?
I frightened the little mouse under her chair.
How much is that dog in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that dog in the window? I do hope that doggie's for sale. I must make a trip to California and leave my poor sweetheart alone. If he has a dog, he won't be lonesome, and the doggie will have a good home. How much is that doggie in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggie in the window? I do hope that doggie's for sale. I've read in the papers there are robbers with flashlights that shine in the dark. My love needs a doggie to protect him and scare them away with one bark. I don't want a bunny or a kitty. I don't want a parrot that's talks. I don't want a bowl of little fishies. He can't take a goldfish for a walk. How much is that doggie in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggie in the window? I do hope that doggie's for sale.
Maybe you like dogs better than kittens, but sometimes doggies have to go without a bone, like this one. Old Mother Hubbard, she went to the cupboard to get her poor doggie a bone. But when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor doggie had none.
But when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor doggie had none.
Old Mother Hubbard, she went to the cupboard to get her poor doggie a bone. But when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor doggie had none.
But when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor doggie had none.
So the little dog went out to find a bone for himself. And Mother Hubbard started to look for it, because she loved the dog very much. She kept singing this song. Where, oh, where has my little dog gone? Oh, where can he be? With his tail cut short and his ears cut long. Oh, where can he be?
Did she ever find him?
Well, she heard a lot of dogs barking, and she knew that her own little dog must be near. Hark, hark, the dogs do bark. Beggars are coming to town. Some in rags, some in tags, and some in velvet gowns. Some in rags, some in tags, and some in velvet gowns.
Some in rags, some in tags, and some in velvet gowns.
Hark, hark, the dogs do bark. Beggars are coming to town. Some in rags, some in tags, and some in velvet gowns. Some in rags, some in tags, and some in velvet gowns.